Good evening. My name is Dr. Godwin, and I'm going to be your host for tonight in this presentation we are going to have tonight. Um, I have taken time to prepare what I have to present tonight based on my experiences, based on my experiences, based on my research on it, and I have made it open for people to join. So anybody who catches us on the way can also join. Anybody who is not able to join but is watching now, also pay attention and can take up a biro and a paper so I can jot down one or two things that you're going to learn tonight. Yeah, I'm a doctor by profession, and I have passion for health, preventive health, and also I'm a nutrition expert. So I have I'm somebody who likes to make you not to go to the hospital as much as possible. There's so many illnesses today that ordinarily people should not, it should not be a problem to people, but it's actually a problem to people because of information lack, the level of information we've got. There's usually that information gap that exists out there, and that is what this presentation aims to bridge. And at the end, I'll try as much as possible to be fast. If you have any questions, you can ask me at the end of this presentation. So it's about balancing our health and how actually we can tackle some common health challenges that we face every day, some common health challenges that exist out there, how we can tackle them from the source, because every health condition has a source. Every health condition has where it is coming from. So just like if you have a problem, before you solve a problem, you need to find out the cause of the problem. So if you understand the cause of the problem, how the problem came about, it will be easier for you to solve them. But if you find it difficult to decipher the genesis of a problem, you are far from solving it. And the only way we can do that is for us to understand the source of these conditions and understand what is lacking. And having known what is lacking, we will know what to do to replace what is lacking so that it can prevent us from having these conditions, or those of us who have them, it can take us away from it or improve our outcome. So that is what we are talking about, a life of balance. Because whether I like it or not, a life of balance is what we need. A life of balance. If everything in your system is balanced, you will rarely fall sick. The reason why you are sick today, the reason why so many people are sick, the reason why people are sick is because there are a lot of imbalances. There are a lot of imbalances that exist in the body. But when you start balancing things in your body, you will rarely fall sick. Now, this is just like a teaser question I want to ask. I'm sure you can see my screen. If you are given two options, these two options, one option is you have the chance, you have 500,000 US dollars in your bank account, or you are worth 500,000 US dollars, but you are always in and out of the hospital. You have a debilitating disease. You have a disease that is costing you man hours. You have a disease that has changed your life totally. In fact, you can actually not enjoy the life you are living, but you have 500,000 US dollars in your bank account. And another scenario where you have only just $100, but you have good health. A lot of people, well, it's for us to choose one, but a lot of people will want to choose good health. Because especially those who have been there. If you have not been there before, if you have not been sick before, you will not understand. If you have been sick before and you've been in the sick bed, you've been in a hospital, you've been there, you will understand that the $100 with good health is something that everybody will want to go for. But according to Materi, he said so many people spend their health gaining wealth, and then they have to spend their wealth to regain their health. What you have to do is that people are going here and there. The reason why you leave your house and go and come back is because you are looking for money. But 80% of people who go out and look for money are doing at the expense of their health. People pay little attention to their health. Rather, they are looking for what can put money in their pocket. People only go to the hospital only when they feel symptoms. And we fail to understand that when you start feeling symptoms, that's when it has actually progressed to a stage that is not good for, that will not be good for you. Because 80% of what goes wrong or what happens in the body, in our body, cannot be felt. Whenever you start feeling something, it has actually gone to a state that you shouldn't have waited for it to get to that stage. So people don't go for medical checks, people don't go to the hospital. They allow things to generate until it will not be a point of no return. For example, there's one there was one time I worked in a hospital back in Nigeria, and we used to have a patient. He's a senior advocate. He's an attorney, and he was diagnosed of kidney failure, and he was always going for dialysis in and out. But he continued dialysis until one day the money he has made for himself all his life would not continue dialysis. So what happened? Because he could not afford, he sold most of his properties. In fact, he became bankrupt because he had to fund the dialysis. Kidney transplant was not even an option because there was no money for it. It was the attendant side effects. So at the point where he could not keep up with the regular sessions of dialysis, he died. So it is health that is real wealth, not pieces of silver and gold. And that is what it just summarizes. It is important for us to understand our body. First of all, you understand how your body is made up, the makeup of your body. If you understand the makeup of your body, you will better understand yourself and know how to prevent some illnesses from coming to you. The body is an entity, and this entity has departments, and they call them systems. They have departments. These departments have various functions they do. They have the immune system, circulatory system, digestive system. They have what they do, they have their functions, and they function together as a unit. These systems, these departments, as I call them, are made up of sub-departments, which are organs. These sub-departments, which are organs, have their functions. They also function to make sure the department function very well. And the organs are further broken down to tissues. They also have things that make them to be the organ they are, especially the heart. The heart has some tissues in it that make it to function well. These tissues are made up of cells. You see, the cell is the structural and the functional unit of life. Without the cells, there will be no tissue. Without the tissue, there will be no organ. Without the organ, there will be no systems and body. So if anything occurs to the cells, if there is any injury to the cells, the human body will be affected. If there's an injury to the cells, the tissues will suffer. You see, the cells aggregate to form tissues. They will definitely suffer. It could be a tissue in the eye. There will be problem with vision. No, you're not seeing well. Now, if those tissues begin to suffer, the organ, the eye itself, which is an organ, can suffer because it will not function the way it should function. You see the genesis? Now, once that happens, those departments that have various functions will find it difficult to discharge their duties because their various sub-departments are not giving them what they want. And the total human being will be shut down. Because once any of these part of the body is affected, it affects either directly or indirectly other parts of the body. And that's what we are talking about. So what can good health give? The reason why you need good health, the reason why you should care about your health, especially, not only care when you are having symptoms, not only care about your health when you have headache or you have fever or you don't feel, even as you are not feeling anything, you're okay, you need to watch your health, you need to care. Why should we care? It's because you need that good health to do a lot of things. You need that good health to have a quality time with your loved ones. If something happens to your health today, the attention you give to your wife, to your husband, to your children will suffer. The attention you give to your work will suffer. The attention you give to your business will suffer. You don't want to take chances to allow your health to have problems. You see, even the plans you have to help others, you cannot because you have not even helped yourself. The things you love doing, such as traveling, you cannot do because you don't even have the good health to do. So health is the number one thing. But you see, man sacrifices his health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not even enjoy the present. The result being that he does not even live in the present or the future. He lives as if he is never going to die and then dies having never really lived. This is what Dalai Lama said when he is asked what surprises him the most about people. You see, so the way our attitude towards our health is something that, because health is like money. Whenever you have a true idea of the value, you will not know it until the day you lose it. So let thy food be thy medicine, and let thy medicine be thy food. All diseases originate from all the foods we eat is what make us. According to Hippocrates, he said, let thy food be thy medicine, and let thy medicine be thy food. Even Thomas Edison said that the doctor of the future will not give, the doctor of the future will give little medicine. Little medicine. Even the medicines we have today are not helping. To be frank with you, they are not helping. They are not really, really helping. They will give little medicine, but with interest. But we interest his patients in the care of the human frame. That is with diet, with food, and in the cause and prevention of disease. So the doctors of the future will not treat human frame with drugs, but they will use nutrition to now influence disease, nutrition to now prevent disease. That is what he said centuries ago, and that is what is happening now. Because whether we like it or not, the available synthetic medications are performing below expectation. And there is now that paradigm shift back to nature, back to what our forefathers usually ate. Our forefathers ate better foods, everything in the right amount, nature, full minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients, minerals, beta-glucans, healthy fats, and a good balance of essential fatty acids. Our forefathers, that is why you see a lot of them, they are strong, they are healthy, they live longer. You don't usually hear of women having cesarean section all the time. You say woman, most women these days give birth with cesarean section all their babies. Few women can actually go through the natural process of labor because of changes, because of deviation, total deviation from the food our forefathers ate. Why? Because man now is making food. Man is making food. Even the food we feed the animals, we are the one making it for them to eat. And it is what these animals eat that make up their nutrients. And when you eat them, exactly what you made is what you are eating. So it will not lead to that imbalance in that system. The nutrients will be imbalanced, the system will be messed up. Any small thing, you start any small, at the slightest provocation, you are ill because the system is messed up because of what we eat, because of what is involved. Now, it will interest you to know that there are two types of what? Two types of malnutrition, A and B malnutrition. The B malnutrition, the one undernourished, this one that has where you have an imbalance, is the main problem today. It's not even this other one. The main problem the world is facing today is this other type of malnutrition. And if you see the children, our children are the people who are even suffering more because they crave more for these things. And parents will allow them to go for it because they want to please their children. But you see, that's why I see a lot of young people now are having diabetes, a lot of young people are having hypertension, a lot of young people are very sick, even sicker than their parents. You see? So that is a problem. And that is why when you are indulged in the type B kind of nutrition, you may not be feeling it, but a lot of damages are going on. DNA damage is going on. And once this happens, a lot of things happens to the cell. No amount of exercise you do can replace your essential nutrients. No amount of exercise you do can replace your essential nutrients. If you're not eating well, if you like do all the exercise in this world, that exercise cannot replace that food that the body needs you to. Cannot give the body those nutrients that your body actually needs from food. What exercise does is just to burn off excess calories, burn off, of course, tries to refresh you, but it cannot synthesize the essential nutrients. The only way you can get the essential nutrients is to take them from food. And because this is not possible, those who still go ahead and exercise themselves end up in the hospital. They still end up in the hospital. At the end, they still end up in the hospital with diabetes, hypertension, and the rest of them. But they are known to be exercising. So the essential amino acids, the essential fatty acids are essential to the body because the body cannot produce them. The body needs them to keep you balanced. The body cannot produce them. So the body needs you to take them from, needs you to go and eat it from food. Not to exercise and expect it to enter. So the body expects to eat it from food. And you have the omega-6, omega-3. The major ones, omega-6 and omega-3. Omega-6 is the arachidonic acid group. The omega-3 is the EPA, DHA, DPA group. All these are essential fatty acids, essential fats, essential nutrients that we must eat from food. And you can see the sources. You see, most of the food we crave today are seldom, even those of us who eat this kind of food, we don't eat it because there's an amount of these essential nutrients that the body cannot produce that is required on daily basis. So now, why is it important? It is important because, like I said, the cell is a structural and a functional environment. The cell has a covering. The cell that makes up the tissues has a covering. And if you look at this, you see that this is a representation of the covering, and this is how it looks like. It's like a double layer. The covering is like a double layer. This is the inside of the cell. This is like the covering. This make up the covering. This is the thickness of the covering. And you see these two strands. You see these two strands. This one is omega-6 fatty acid representation. This one is omega-3 fatty acid representation. Ideally, the way the body is structured is to have 1:1 balance ratio of these essential nutrients, omega-6 and omega-3. Now, you see the difference between omega-6 and omega-3. The difference between omega-6 and omega-3 is that difference between omega-6 and omega-3 is that omega-6 is continuous, is long. It doesn't have any bend. But if you see the omega-3, it has a kink, it has a bend. Now, the presence of this bend makes the cell membrane to be flexible, makes it to be easily, things can easily pass in and out. But if you now have an imbalance in the omega-6 and 3, what happens is that this bend will be lost and the cell membrane will be kinked. Talk about this. I just want to show this for us to understand subsequently when I talk about it. So this is how it is represented, and that's how it's represented. That's why you have this 1:1 ratio. The DNA has been, but science has recommended 3:1. 3:1 of omega-6 and omega-3. At least it should not be above that. Then you have 4 is to 1. Once it gets to 4 is to 1, it's like the turning point. And anything above this 4 is to 1, the cells begins to misbehave. The cell membrane suffers. At this point, when we are not eating man-made food, our ratio begins to go up. The ratio begins to go up. As the ratio begins to go up, all those diseases will start forming, will start manufacturing, because the cells cannot function the way they should function. So diabetes can set in, hypertension can set in, stroke can set in, heart diseases can set in, kidney diseases can set in, all forms of cancers can set in, etc., etc. Because we eat more of omega-6 and eat less of omega-3. So we now have more of omega-6 in our system and less of omega-3 in our system. This imbalance is now what gives rise to all kinds of illnesses, all kinds of bodily ailments. It is either affecting it directly or indirectly. That is why a lot of us are sick today. That is why the life expectancy is reducing on daily basis. That is why COVID-19, when it came, it killed a lot of people who had all these comorbidities. Most people who have hypertension, diabetes, stroke, underlying lung disease, who had this, COVID-19 was just taking them, it was so aggressive on them. Because those persons already have a system that was imbalanced. Those persons already have a system that was not functioning properly, because everything will be affected. Your immune system will be affected. Your brain function will be affected. Your health quality will be affected. Your heart function will be affected. So many things will be affected. Your joint and muscles will be affected. Joint pains and the rest of them. All of them will be affected because of this imbalance. So you see how it affects the cell, like I was saying, when there's an imbalance between the omega-6 and 3, nutrients cannot get in, nutrients cannot go out. Nutrients cannot get in, waste product cannot go out, because the cell membrane is hard, is thick. It cannot allow easy movement. Even the foods you are eating, even the ones, it is difficult for them to even get to what you are eating. And once that happens, because of the way the cell functions, the cells cannot stand the test of time. The cells will not be having injury. There will be a problem. And once that happens, it will give rise to any kinds of condition, brain condition, skin, psychiatric condition, eye disease, hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, cancers, all of them. Peptic ulceration. The cells are responsible for all this. And once those cells go, once the cells are affected, all these diseases you see will come out. You can overweight, obesity, cells that should break down excess fat are no longer functioning well, because they cannot even produce chemicals that can help the breakdown, because of the cell membranes are not functioning well. You become overweight, you add weight anyhow. Immune system function poorly, because the cells that should mediate it are not strong. You get that easily because enough ATPs are not produced from cell. You become infertile because the cells that should regulate fertility are not functioning well. You have poor sexual function and low libido issues, because the cells that are there to regulate all these functions are dysfunctioning because of this singular reason, this imbalance. And this will rob you of your time. Hypertension will set in. You'll be a candidate to have stroke. And all this heart attack will come out. Diabetes will come. Aging, you'll be aging faster. Even malaria. There are people today, at the slightest provocation, they come down with malaria. There are a lot of people today who they find it difficult to come down with malaria. Malaria has been shown to be tied to the strength of your immune system. If your immunity is very low, even 1+ of it can bring you down. So it is a factor. Stress is a component. Once you are stressed up, it can crash your immune system. All these things, in a system that is imbalanced, the stress will even hit you more and lead to a lot of things. and then before you know it, you are in the hospital. Nobody wants to be in the hospital, and it is unwise for you to wait until when you have gone to the hospital before you now start thinking of your health. Because in most cases, most people who go to the hospital, not everybody who go to the hospital bed come back alive. So it is not even a wise decision for you to allow yourself to go to the hospital bed. Allow yourself to feel symptoms before you start bothering about your health. Even as you are feeling good now, you should be thinking of how to balance your system. Before you start feeling those symptoms, think of how to balance your system so that you can stay away from those things that are taking other people to the hospital, not you. So you see, when the system is balanced, the cell membrane functions well. And once that happens, it is soft, it is flexible, it is fluidy, and you see how your body will be improved. You have improved brain function, you have improved mental capacity, normal vision, normalizes blood pressure, keeps you far from diabetes, prevents and tackles heart diseases, prevents abnormal cell division, keeps you cancer-free, regulates normal function, reduces unnecessary inflammation, prevents and protects the gut from harm, increases the life of your kidneys, keeps you far from kidney issues, prevents and clears wrinkles, stretch marks, prevents liver diseases, suppresses allergy, burns unhealthy fats, increases immune function, increases energy level, enhances fertility, sperm count and ovulation, and enhances sexual function. Once your system is balanced, all these things will begin to correct themselves. And the science behind omega-3 fatty acids and the role it plays in the body has already been established by science. A lot of clinical studies have has confirmed that increased intake of omega-3 fatty acids, essential fatty acids, especially omega-3 fatty acid, has wonderful balance it does to the body. This is a new science. In fact, it now also has to discover that there's something called omega-6 and omega-3 ratio. Omega-6 and omega-3 ratio has been shown to what? Influence diseases, non-communicable diseases like cardiovascular diseases and other chronic diseases. The omega-6 and omega-3 is what we have been talking about. Now, clinical studies, clinical researchers have confirmed that an imbalance in this omega-6 and 3 is leading a lot of people to have cardiovascular diseases and chronic disease. In other words, a higher ratio of omega-6 and 3 is not good. It shows that your system is imbalanced. That is why you are hypertensive. That is why you are diabetic. That has contributed to you having stroke before. That has contributed to you having fibroid, having what you are having, because that imbalance has created an environment for those disease conditions to progress. Excessive amount of omega-6 and a very high omega-6-3 ratio is found in today's Western diet, promoting the pathogenesis. Pathogenesis means the progress of many diseases, including cardiovascular, heart and blood vessel, cancer, inflammatory and autoimmune diseases. Whereas increased levels of omega-3, that is lower omega-6-3 ratio, exert suppressive effect. That means it suppresses it. What I've been talking since, it reverses it. In the secondary prevention of cardiovascular disease, a ratio of 4:1 was associated with a 70% decrease in deaths. You can imagine now you can understand what reducing your ratio can prevent you from having. 70% decrease in deaths, just because a ratio, it's not even up to the 3:1 that WHO recommended. 4:1. But there are people today who have ratios of 25:1, 40:1. How can you expect those people not to have one or two ailments? How can you expect them? You see, now a lower ratio of omega-6, omega-3 fatty acids is more desirable in reducing the risk of many chronic, that is non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, stroke, all these things that we talk about, which are of high prevalence in the Western society. Not only in the Western society, but also in Africa, developing world, in fact, everywhere. The importance of balancing ourselves, omega-6 and omega-3, can never be overemphasized. So to achieve healthy cell membranes, we need a 3:1 balance between omega-6 and omega-3. If you can achieve this, you have taken 70%, you have actually taken you have suppressed, reversed almost more than 70% of the diseases that have been cooking up in your system. If you can do this. But how can you do it? You have to ask yourself, where are you currently? Where are you currently? You have to think, where am I currently? Don't be surprised. Our children today, because of what they eat, what we allow them to eat, they are 25, an average of 25:1 and above. That's why I see a child is obese. Children are obese. Children are falling sick, asthma. They are even sicker than adults now. Whereas we will be around 15:1. Some people are even 40. It's an average. Where we ought to be is 3:1. Ideally, the body is programmed for us to have 1:1, but 3:1 is safe. Anything above 3 is not safe. Now, you ask yourself, if you are in the danger zone, you have to find out where you belong. Otherwise, that disease, that hypertension, that diabetes, all those things that most people are suffering from, or that you have, or that you may have, you will not be able to tackle it unless you find out where you are. And now, because it's only before you start making progress in life, you have to first of all understand where you are. It is from where you are that you start moving to where you want to be. Because you have to consider the imbalance in your system already, omega-6 and 3. You have to consider that you are not even taking enough omega-3 fatty acids as we are. You have to also consider that we don't take more of polyphenols. Polyphenols are antioxidants from fruits, vegetables, all these things. We don't take enough of them. You have to also consider that the vitamin D now level in our system is reduced because of everybody is always indoors, everybody is always in AC, people rarely make contact with nature just like before. So you see, all these things are contributing and killing us. And the only way you can get to know is to do a test. Science, this new science has been able to make it possible for you to test your ratio. This new science has been able to make it possible, just the way you check your blood pressure, just the way you check your sugar level, just the way you check your cholesterol level, just the way we encourage people to check themselves. If you don't check yourself, and most times doctors cannot work well without tests, because you cannot guess somebody's system unless the person does a test. That's when you can know what is happening. You can't guess. So it's only God that knows what is happening. The only way we can know what is wrong with you is when we do tests. And the only way you can know your ratio, where you are currently, your level of imbalance, is when you do your test, your balanced test. And Zinzino has made it in such a way just to encourage you to get to know your ratio, that if you do your tests and your ratio comes out normal, 3:1, whatever money you have spent, they will refund you your money back. Just because they want to encourage you, they want to encourage us to get to know our ratio. And if you discover your ratio and your ratio is 3:1, now I want us to write this website down. Take a pen and a paper and write this website at zinzinotest.com. This is where you will get detailed information about this balance test. This is every information you need to get about this balance test. This is where you will get it from. So you can write it down at your spare time. Use your phone, use your internet, Google, read, watch the videos, read everything that is there. If you go to the website, this is what you see, because it is a test that determines the omega-6-3 ratio in our body. And also, it also checks other things by using personal readings of checking all the 11 essential fatty acids, because by getting to know the readings of these 11 essential fatty acids in our body, whether you have them, how many you have, in what quantity you have them, that is what it tests. It will now be able to calculate your ratio of omega-6. How many proportion is omega-6? How many proportion is omega-3? And tell you this is your ratio. And of course, once you do it, you go here and put your ID. Every test kit has an ID. You put your ID, and that is how you can get to follow your results through your phone. So you see, as of today, 706,826 fatty acid test has been done. As of when I assessed this today, 706,826 fatty acid test has been done. And the statistics from this number of tests that has been done, 95% were out of balance. That means 95% of the tests were wrong. That means 95% of people who did this test, they have a messed up system, in quotes. They have a system that is out of balance. They have discovered that their system is out of balance. And they have known their degree of imbalance. And they now know how to correct it. So when you go to the website, you see how to take the test, how your results are calculated, secure analysis and accurate testing, how to restore your balance, how to change your diet, what we measure. Full information is on this website, www.zinzinotest.com. And you see that there's a lab called the Vitas Analytical Services that is an independent laboratory that does these tests. They are independent. They have official partners such as Harvard University, wonderful research institutions of higher repute that trust their work, trust their results. To show you how important this test is, you cannot just find it in any laboratory around you. You cannot even find it in any major laboratory you have known around you, because of the technicality, how high-tech the test is, because of the level of accuracy that is needed, precision that is needed to bring out the result. Vitas Analytical Services, located in Oslo, Norway, is a WHO certified lab to carry out this test. And they have GMP. So it's an approved lab by WHO to carry out this test. And see all these institutions, Harvard University, University of Cambridge, King's College London, they are in partnership with this lab, because these are research institutes. These are institutions that conduct clinical research. So in addition to this balance test, they also send other of their samples to the lab for the lab to analyze for them. So it's credible. So this lab is not even owned by Zinzino company that is bringing this test-based nutrition to our doorstep. It's not owned by Zinzino company, but it is a lab that does it independently, so that it doesn't know you. So whatever results that comes out of it, it's authentic. So like I said, 11 fatty acids are being analyzed, and it takes about 120 days for it to reflect. So as you do the test, you will have to repeat it again 120 days. Now, if you do your test and you are imbalanced, that means between that time and 120 days, you should be doing something. Before you do the next one, you should be doing something to correct whatever imbalance that is in your system. You see, when you focus on correcting your imbalance, that illness that is a problem to you today, all those conditions, you see a change, a significant change in them. You see how an attempt to correct this imbalance has influenced that your condition positively, such that the remission you get will be above expectation. These are 11 fatty acids that have been assessed by the test. So you see, you get quick and personalized result. Your own something. It doesn't measure only omega-6 3. It also measure your protection value, your omega-3 index, your mental strength, your membrane fluidity index. All these things are very important, very, very important. And once you do it, you understand what they are. There's no time for me to explain them in details. But when you do your test, you understand them in details. Once you get your results, your feedback. Now, this is an example of how it comes. Through your phone, you can get feedback. How imbalanced you are. How imbalanced you are, and how imbalanced you are, and what you need to do to balance yourself. You are given a personalized information, because the aim now is to balance your system so that you tackle your illnesses, your health challenges from the source. You are tackling it from the source. So, and you also track your progress. When you repeat your test, after 120 days, you now see the difference. What has changed? The change you get when you repeat your test is a function of what you will do or what you took within that 120 days after the first test. Whether you follow the advice that was given to you. Because whether we like it or not, the world is out of balance. 95% in Europe is out of balance. 98% in Australia is out of balance. 99% of US is out of balance. Based on this, more than 700,000 tests that has been done. The other part of the world, 97% are out of balance to date. So these are findings in details. For example, those who are already on omega, there are people who are already taking omega supplement. I'm already taking omega supplement, so I know my test. Those persons, they have an average ratio of 7:1, because the omega supplement is actually influencing. Because, like I said, its omega-6/3 ratio is measuring. Now, those who are not even on any omega supplements, they have an average ratio of 15:1 and above, because they're not taking omega supplement. Now, the few ones, very few ones who have been tested to, the first time they have 3:1, very 5%, only 5% of people, only 5%. So it is a problem, and how can we fix the problem? It's a question that demands an answer. I'm sure that is what most people will be asking now. Now, yes, ratio. What can we do? How can we fix this problem? How we can fix this problem is an answer that has been given to us by the Scientific Advisory Board that was gathered by Zinzino. Scientific Advisory Board that was gathered by Zinzino, which is a health and wealth services company in Sweden. Gathered this Scientific Advisory Board of these scientists, people of the world's brightest minds, in the fields of wellness and nutrition, who have developed a system for the test, because it is test-based. Why it is called test-based is because we are testing our nutrition first before we now correct it. It is not an issue of giving you something to use or telling you what to do without you first knowing the state of your nutrition. Because you have to know where you are before you know where you go, or you know whether you run faster or you run slow. If you are making a journey and you need to know whether you are close or you need to know whether you are far. When you start a journey, your speed cannot be compared to your speed when you are getting close to your destination. So knowing where you are at the point is what determines how far, what you need to do to get to your destination. And that is what this Scientific Advisory Board have done. Dr. Paul Clayton, an established neuropharmacologist in the University of Edinburgh, he has a lot of research articles in PubMed published. He has done a lot of studies. He has a lot of videos on YouTube. He has a book. He has a lot of things on pharmaconutrition. You see, he said that he wrote a book and he called the book "Let Your Food Be Your Pharmaconutrition." He's saying that what should be our medicine should be our food. That's what he said, because he has studied in depth a lot of researches on this. Mr. Ada is also one of them. Dr. Angela and Dr. Abraham. These are brightest minds that have distinguished themselves in their areas of endeavor. They came together to formulate this test-based nutrition, which is patented. This is a solution to the problem of imbalance. If you discover that you are imbalanced, what they have done is a solution to that imbalance. It means that before your 120 days elapsed, when you do your test, within your 120 days, they were able to come up with something what you should do within that 120 days, which is backed up with evidence, with science. Because the aim of their work is to bring us back to balance. Because bringing you back to balance is the key to tackling your health challenge from the source. Bringing you back to balance is the key to tackling your health challenge from the source. And this new science was developed to bring you back to balance in 120 days. Because the lifespan of the red blood cell is 120 days. So they actually do this measurement on the blood cells. So every 120 days, new blood cells are produced. So after that 120 days, they want to know what is in your new blood cells. That is why after 120 days, you repeat your test. But within that 120 days, you should be on the test-based nutrition. So that will help to balance your system. And this test-based nutrition is in a formula called the Zinzino Balance Oil. Now, this Zinzino Balance Oil is what? A potent, highly potent omega-3 fatty acid. Highly potent omega-3. Now, it is replacing the omega-3 fatty acid that is making your system imbalanced. The most important thing is not even the omega-3 fatty acids. The most important aspect of this is what the polyphenols from olive extract. Now, these polyphenols are powerful antioxidants that prevents the degradation, that prevents the breakdown, that prevents the destruction of omega-3 fatty acids in our body. Our body generally, there are free radicals in the system that breaks down this omega-3. Even the small one you are eating from fish and some other things, they are breaking them down. You see, you are trying to help yourself. Something in your body is destroying what you are doing. But the balanced oil, that's why it's called a balanced oil, does not only contain omega-3 fatty acids, it also contains polyphenols, which are rich in antioxidants that prevents the breakdown of omega-3 fatty acids, carrying it to the cells, carrying it to nourish you. And also an adequate amount of vitamin D3 that is lacking now, and vitamin E too that is also lacking, which are also powerful antioxidants that protect the system from damage. And you take it by weight, everybody, children, adults, old, everybody, pregnant women, non-pregnant women, everybody will take the balanced oil because everybody's system is imbalanced. 95% of people are imbalanced. This is another formulation of the balanced oil that contains and even a higher quantity of antioxidants, phytonutrients, a higher amount of polyphenol kind of antioxidants from Revo olive oil. You see, that's what they call it, Zinzino Balanced Oil Premium. Star-studded. So you see, the same thing it does and different formulation. I see these are made with highest quality and care. Like I tell you, the Scientific Advisory Board, they have done something wonderful. They have met all requirements. They have been able to put science together and make this test-based nutrition, which is the global mega trend, which is a new science. Now, this is a study that was done in 2010 that showed that the balanced oil is even much more potent than every other omega-3 fatty acid containing supplement in the market. That's what this thought, because of the oil stability index, because of the presence of the polyphenols and natural vitamin E. So 95% of those who, now like I said, more than 700,000 people have done this test, and they were 95% were out of balance. Within 120 days, 95% of those who took the balance oil restored their ratio to near 3:1 within 120 days. Now, what does it tell you? It tells you that the balance oil is actually effective. It tells you that the balance oil is actually potent. It tells you that the balance oil is what you need to bring yourself to balance, so that all those conditions, hypertension, stroke, diabetes, and the rest of them that have emanated because of an imbalanced system will regress, as shown by science, as shown by clinical studies that have been done. Now, this test confirms the efficacy of the balanced oil, because statistics have shown that 95% of those who took it. So you're not even waiting to ask for who has testimonial of this. You don't even need testimonial, because something that is higher than testimonial is already on ground, which is the test. I value test results changes more than testimonials, because some people can just fabricate testimonials. It is not enough for you to say something worked. It is much more enough for you to bring an evidence that it actually works. And what evidence can you provide that it actually works? It is a test that you have done. What test did you do? And the balance test is the test of efficacy of the balanced product of Syngenta. So you see, a lot of, even at that, we still have testimonials of people who have actually done it, who felt that they were balanced. People who felt that there are people today who felt that they are actually living healthy life, they are eating well. But when they did the test, they discovered that they were really out of balance. It means that they were actually not healthy as they thought. They were actually not healthy as they thought. And they did their test and they saw that they were even out of balance. Look at what this guy said. I have been suffering from all kinds of life. I have been suffering all my life from very dry skin. But after getting in balance, my skin feels smooth and hydrated. Balancing your system is a key to reversing that condition that is bedeviling you today. That is tackling your health challenge from the source. He also went ahead and said, in addition, my immune system, joint, and muscle function is better. He can feel it. And I restitute a lot faster after exercise. So even when you go out and work out and exercise and everything, your body recuperates. You enjoy the effect of exercise better when your system is balanced. That's why it's a wonderful combination with working out, the balanced oil. That's a lot of athletes are confessing positively about it. Even in this Olympic that they just completed, some of the athletes, most of the athletes doing well were on the balanced products. I would have brought a video clips of their testimonials. I just remember that I didn't do it in these slides. But when you go to, in course of your research about this, you will come across them, I can assure you. So like I said, everybody needs it at every stage in life. The balanced oil has a role in keeping you healthy, so that when you grow old, you can enjoy your good health. You see, the health benefits are enormous. Normal brain function, normal heart function, normal immune function. The European Food and Safety Association Authority, which is an European Food Safety Authority, is an agency in the European Union that provides independent scientific advice and communicates on existing and emerging risks associated with food chain. They came up with 18 health claims that these omega-3 fatty acids, as potent as it is in the balanced oil, can actually do for the body. This is an independent body. They are not Zinzino. This is not from Zinzino. This is an authority. normal vision, normal teeth, normal muscle function, normal bone structure, protects blood lipids. All these things you see listed here are related to almost all the conditions that are bedeviling people today. Because when all these things are normalized, it means almost all those conditions are tackled from the source. Heart condition, brain condition, all of them, they are related to these health claims. So the message today is to take your tests and find out your ratio. That is the message. Now, you can reach out to whoever asked you to come to this presentation and ask him or her how you're going to take your test and follow the 120 protocol with a balanced oil. Or if it is through me, you can access me and I'll also tell you. Take your test. Start using the Zinzino product to nourish your body. Review your test result after 14 days at the website. How you are going to submit everything about the questions you have about the test will be answered. There's already arrangement for you to do your test, for you to submit it down. Already, the arrangement is already on ground. Then 4 months later, retest yourself to know how you are now. It's very important. It's very important. Now, we also have a cream that is of the omega-3 6 fats, omega-3 6. You know, this is a wonderful cream that hydrates and smoothens the skin, that reduces fine lines and wrinkles. A lot of people with wrinkles today is not normal wrinkle. It's because of aging, following imbalance in the system. It improves skin elasticity and strength. So you see, it's working, and a lot of testimonials are there. So reaching a balance between omega-6 and omega-3 is the first step to feel good, stay fit, and be healthy. That's the first step. That's the first step, because once this is done, it corrects all those health conditions from the source. It regresses them. You feel better. You feel good about yourself. Unexplained feeling you cannot even fathom. But now, Zinzino is doing a giveaway. Zinzino, those persons who want to take their test, who would want to use the balanced oil, there are free gifts for them. There are free products for them. Zinzino wants to always be giving them the balanced oil to always be taken. If you will avail yourself one of the customer kits, one of the which contains the balance test and the products, just because you want to restore your balance. In fact, taking a decision and acting on that decision to restore yourself to balance, Zinzino has a wonderful gift for you. He wants, if you can actually spread the word and get your friends, who you will also, everybody needs to check their ratio and balance their system. Start with your family member. Start with your mom. Start with your dad. Start with your wife. Start with your husband. Start with your children. Let them do their own, check their ratio. Because whether you like it or not, if anything happens to any of those your family members, you will be disturbed. You will not have rest of mind. So how Zinzino wants to reward you with free products just because you want your family members to be healthy like you. Because this is a wonderful information you have heard. If you keep it to yourself, it will not be a good thing. Zinzino wants to reward you because you told other people. Wants to give you continue monthly supply of the product because you were able to extend your fellowship to 4 other persons. Because balance is not something you find, it's something you create. So you have to create that balance and get rewarded. So the best way to actually get these products is to become a premier customer. What do I mean by premier customer? Premier customer is you purchase the kit that contains the balance test and the product. That means you are in to check your ratio and do the 120-day program. Balance your system. You are in for it. Then you will have an opportunity to save money for yourself because you get free products. You have an opportunity to have significant discounts. Discount, much more than 50% discounts. You know, and you can have money back guarantee, an opportunity to qualify for the free product if you get 4. And that's not all. That's not all. You also have opportunity to win cash prizes too. Let me go back. You also have opportunity to become a Zinzino partner. Now, if you become a partner with Zinzino, you have put yourself in a position to earn from the opportunity. Now, there are people today who are earning thousands of US dollars because people are taking the tests. There are people today who are earning thousands of US dollars because people are taking the test. Now you have opportunity to become a partner. Once you become a customer, you have opportunity. But if you want to become a partner outrightly, you are also welcome. But Zinzino wants you to become a customer and be somebody who will use the test and, of course, use the product, do the test and use the product and restore your system back so that you stop spending money in the hospitals. Because whether you like it or not, the money you spend in the hospital is much more than, cannot even be compared to the amount of money you will spend to get a kit for yourself. Cannot be compared. And what are the kits available? These are the kits available. Like I said, it is better to become a premier customer. If you become a premier customer, you get it cheaper. You get it cheaper. What do I mean by cheaper? This is it. If you want to become a premier customer, it becomes far, far cheaper for you. You can imagine having these bottles and the balance test, everything, plus the opportunity to earn, plus the opportunity to get free product, plus all the opportunities involved with just about 67,000. The potency we are talking about. We are enjoying the richness. What about the balance oil premium? Becoming a premier customer, you have opportunity to enjoy the richness with just 88,000 only. And you have now the money you will spend in the hospital for even drugs, for tests, for hospital accommodation and everything. This amount of money you are seeing here cannot even fund it. This amount now you will still have the side effects, the disturbances from the illness. You still have loss of man hours. Your body is not even a guarantee that you can restore your body back completely when you go to the hospital. But with this amount of money, which is far, far less than what you spend in the hospital, you can keep yourself healthy, keep yourself to enjoy the rest of your life. Because those who are hypertensive run the risk of having kidney failure. Those who are hypertensive run the risk of having heart failure. You can imagine that the man I talked about that was having kidney dialysis. The more, he spent all his savings. All the savings could not save him. But he died eventually. But now, you just need a token to invest in your health and prevent yourself. You see, if you have not been there before, you will not understand. If you have been there before, you will understand how much money, how much man hours that it takes from you if you fall sick today and you find yourself in the hospital. So you see things like small amount of money like this can keep you far from those conditions. Can keep you far. And because if it happens to you now, your loved ones will suffer. There are people who are looking up to you. What happens to them is something happens to you. This amount of money is just what you need to restore your system back to normal. This is the cream for those who want the facials, who want to do facials and neck. This is the cream. Keep you from all the skin diseases and the rest of them. Gives you a natural skin, makes you look good, wrinkles, remove stretch marks. See us, a lot of people having stretch marks. Stretch marks that are not even supposed to be there. For the ladies who are into cosmetics, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to go nature instead of using all those chemicalized creams that you use that even worsen the condition and predispose to having skin cancer. This will even keep you far from skin cancer. It is an investment in health. Your health is an investment, not an expense. But it will become an expense if you don't take time to invest in it. How much do you need to invest in your health? Okay. But when you fall sick, how much will you spend? Huge amount of money you will spend when you fall sick. You will not understand if you have not been there before. I am a doctor and I see a lot of things every day. And it beats my chest that these things are preventable. What people don't know is that most times the problem is information, not that people don't have the money. It's information. Some people have the wrong information. The wrong information has made them feel that they don't even need to spend the money, even when they have the money, because of wrong information. Invest in your health. Anything you do, you prosper, because you have time for your business. You have time for anything you are doing, because it is key to wealth creation. Investment in health is key to wealth. Everybody wants to make money, but they miss the most important part, which is the health investment. People abandon the health investment, but they will come back to it, because at the end, your body will weary. You will now use that money that you have made and pour into the health, which is even not a guarantee that you can restore your health back. The investment you do to your health today is the key to balancing yourself through the test-based nutrition of Zinzino and tackling that your illness from the source. That is what I bring to you today, under the guise, under the sponsorship, under the innovation of Zinzino, because Zinzino is out to inspire change in the world. Watch out, wherever you find yourself today, whichever country you are today, you will see Zinzino at your doorstep. If you don't take advantage of this opportunity now, the people ahead of you will take advantage. And who knows, we are not praying for you to fall sick, but who knows what is knocking at your door, what disease or what condition is knocking at your door. It is only when you take that step to change your ratio and restore yourself back to normalcy that you can knock off and prevent that disease that will take you to the hospital and make you to spend all your savings. Just a token will restore you back to normalcy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much all for those who are listening.